بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم. We were discussing throughout the week this book written by Shaykh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghudda rahimahullah, a book on Islamic manners, a brief collection of fundamental etiquette in Islam. And once again, Islamic etiquette is extremely important. In fact, in a hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned, مَا مِن شَيْءٍ أَثْقَلُ فِي الْمِيزَانِ مِنْ حُسْنِ الْخُلُقِ, that there isn't anything which is more weightier on the scales than good character. And in another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned that no father can gift his son with anything better than good etiquette. And we discussed with regards to entering the home, the various different etiquettes, entering with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, entering with the right foot, ensuring that we enter very peacefully and calmly without allowing the door to bang. We greet those who are inside. One thing we forgot to mention is, what are we supposed to do if we enter a house and there is no one inside? What if we enter our own homes and there is no one inside? Then subhanAllah, there are different du'as that we learn from the life of the companions radiyallahu anhum, and we understand most probably they acquired these du'as from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And it's mentioned that when a person enters their house and there is no one there, then you should recite Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. So this is something to keep in mind as well. When there are people inside, then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If there's no one inside, Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. Then also to announce your presence and then to take permission before entering any room in the house. Yesterday we discussed a little bit about knocking and how to do so. What is the correct manner? When a person is standing by the door, how should he stand by the door? Should he be looking inside? Should he be facing the direction of the door? Or should he rather be looking somewhere else? And then today we are discussing when a person knocks at the door and they are asked, who is it? Then you're supposed to identify yourself. So if someone knocks at the door, knock, knock, who's there? Then you're not supposed to say, me, I'm here. No, you're supposed to identify yourself, taking your entire name, your name which is famously known. So if someone is famously known by his last name, then you shouldn't just say, for example, studying in Hifz, then we used to have many different friends by the names of Hamza Siddiqi, Jalal, Imtiaz. So if they were to say, who is there, and they say Hamza, we don't know which Hamza it is. And it's very famously known, whenever we used to address them by their last names, Imtiaz, or we used to address them by Jalal. So then it's only appropriate that you address yourself, or that you identify yourself stating your known name, the name which others know you by. Don't just say me, or someone's at the door, or somebody is by the door. For these words do not inform him as to who is truly there. It's incorrect for you to expect your voice to be known to the person whom you are visiting, since voices and tones resemble each other and they can be confusing. Also, not every person in the home that you are visiting may be able to recognize your voice. You don't know who's standing behind the door, who's going to greet you. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself discouraged the one knocking at the door from saying, it's me, because this doesn't give a full meaning. In a hadith, it's once mentioned that Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anhuma, he came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he says, أَتَيْتُ النَّبِيَّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم فَدَقَقْتُ الْبَابِ. I came and I knocked on the door of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He asked, Man hadha? Who's there? فَقُلْتُ أَنَا. So I said, I'm here. So the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ana. As if like, who is this? You're just me. And he got up as if he disliked what was being said. Abu Dharr radiyallahu anhu says that once I was walking out at night and I saw Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam walking by himself in the darkness. So I began to walk in the shade of the moon, following him. And he turned, glanced, and he saw me. He saw my figure. So he asked, who is there? And at this time the Sahabi, he understood the proper etiquette, and he replied, it's Abu Dharr, taking his full name which he was known by. Hani radiallahu anha, on one occasion when she came to visit Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she was asked, who is there? Or who is this? Then she also replied, taking her full name by which she was known. It is Hani. When you visit a friend with or without an appointment, and he apologized for not being able to receive you, then you should accept his apology. This is the next etiquette. When we visit our friends, whether it's on an appointment, because through an appointment, or whether it's without an appointment, then we should be very accommodating if they are unavailable. If something happens down the line and they tell you, unfortunately, I can no longer host you, I can no longer make it at this meeting, then we ought to respect them, because his personal affairs and the condition of his house is better known to him. It's possible that something could have come up that his personal circumstance does not allow him to receive you at that moment, and therefore he has the right to ask to be excused. The famous tabi'i Qatada ibn Di'ama as-Sadusi rahimahullah once mentioned, he said, do not remain at the door of those who decline your visit. You do have other needs to attend, whilst they themselves are also occupied. Therefore, they also deserve to be excused. Imam Malik rahimahullah, he used to say, لَيْسَ كُلُّ النَّاسِ يَقْدِرُ أَن يَتَكَلَّمَ بِعُذْرِهِ. Not every single person can disclose the reason for which he is busy. And this is the reality of the matter. In fact, people, they don't even need to mention the reason for which they are busy. Proper etiquette as a Muslim is to accept and to think good of them, that perhaps something genuinely came up and therefore they cannot meet me. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اجْتَنِبُوا كَثِيرًا مِنَ الظَّنِّ إِنَّ بَعْضَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٌ. So as Muslims, we ought to give others the benefit of the doubt. A very famous pious person, Abdullah bin Muhammad ibn Manazil rahimahullah, once mentioned, he said, "Al-mu'minu yatlubu ma'adhira ikhwanihi." That a proper Muslim and a proper mu'min, he constantly looks for the excuses for his brother. Whereas a munafiq, he is the opposite. يَطْلُبُ عَثَرَاتِ إِخْوَانِهِ. He looks for ways to criticize his friends. So whenever a person gives us some excuse because of which they can no longer meet the appointment, or because of which they can no longer host us, then we shouldn't think ill of them and, oh, he just didn't want to spend time with me, or oh, someone else came who is much more important. Rather, we ought to think genuinely he has some reason, something perhaps came up, and we should give him the benefit of the doubt. In this light, when it came to visiting, our pious predecessors, they used to say to their hosts, perhaps you're occupied and cannot attend us. When they used to visit, giving their host an excuse to actually allow them to excuse themselves. So when a person visits the house, then visits someone else's house, then at times we should also mention it in this manner, especially if it's such a meeting which was unexpected, especially when it comes to family members. Sometimes we feel that the fact that we are family members, it's okay to pitch up or to come to one another's houses uninvited or without even mentioning, without any prior notice. But sometimes a person may genuinely be very busy. Then at that time, without even realizing, we take up so much of their time and we actually begin to irritate them. The Salafus Salihin, what they used to do is they actually used to give excuses when they came in such a manner. They used to provide excuses. They used to come and they used to say, I just wanted to meet you for this reason. Maybe you're actually busy right now. Maybe you are preoccupied by something. I can come back another time. So they would offer an excuse. Subhanallah. Otherwise, you'll find many times, like our teacher, he used to tell us whenever he used to visit Shaykh Awama Hafidhullah, and whenever other guests used to come, then Shaykh Awama Hafidhullah is a person, he's known to have very, very good etiquette, very high manners, mashallah, very noble manners. And very seldom does he tell a person that, I need to go. He'll entertain the guests as long as possible. But when it becomes a bit difficult, then he begins to constantly welcome them, like, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaban bikum, how can I assist you, how can I help you? And those who are with him for a long time understand that, Shaykh has already done whatever he could to entertain the guest. He's very busy now, he doesn't have much time. But sometimes the guests wouldn't understand that this is actually his way of, he's trying to say, what else is there that I can do for you? Otherwise, please allow me to excuse myself. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَإِن قِيلَ لَكُمُ ارْجِعُوا فَارْجِعُوا, that when you are told to go, then you should go. Whether this is like very clearly, explicitly mentioned, or if it's done through ishara, if it's alluded to. If you can see the person is busy, if you're getting these signs, then that's not time for you to also leave. Huwa azka lakum, this is better. Why? Many hosts, they become compelled and they become disturbed by the visit of someone whom they did not want to attend due to specific circumstances. And at times, they may even resort to lying. Just to accommodate you, you may even force your host to lie. No, I'm actually fine, it's okay. And out of their own etiquette, they will try to, continue hosting you, but they'll end up lying, saying that they're not busy and they weren't doing anything and didn't have anything in mind. Sometimes they made plans with the family, with the children. The children are waiting to go. They're eagerly waiting to leave the home. And then unexpectedly some guest came. And now the children also pick up this habit from their own parents. That they see, oh, my parent is also lying. And lying is such a severe sin that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam once mentioned in a hadith, إِذَا كَذَبَ الْعَبْدُ تَبَاعَدَ عَنْهُ الْمَلَكُ مِيلًا مِنْ نَتْنِ مَا جَاءَ بِهِ. That because of the lies that come out of our mouths, the angels of mercy distance themselves over 1 mile because of the stench that comes out. Subhanallah. So not only do their children learn these bad manners, but such behavior will also lead towards ill feeling and hatred in the hearts. The Quranic etiquette provides a better alternative to such unpleasantness and protects us from lying. It allows the host to kindly present a reason to visitors and asks that they accept it in good faith. وَإِن قِيلَ لَكُمُ ارْجِعُوا فَارْجِعُوا هُوَ أَزْكَى لَكُمْ. In Surah Nur, Allah mentions, if you are asked to go back, then go back. That makes for greater purity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all tawfiq to implement all of these various different characteristics and these adab and etiquettes. Sometimes we feel that it's common sense. It is common sense, but despite being common sense, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam still taught the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still put ayat of the Quran because this is our deen. It's not just the spiritual aspect, but even the practical aspect. Every single thing, every nitty-gritty detail from, again, before a child is even born till after he passes away. Every single thing is laid out. Every single thing is mentioned. Every single thing is discussed. There are hundreds of thousands of ahadith, and this is just one small booklet, Islamic Manners. There's another booklet written by Imam Bukhari, rahimahullah, Al-Adab al-Mufrad. It's an entire book. It's over 500, 600 pages with hundreds of ahadith on similar ahadith just like this, day-to-day etiquettes that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us tawfiq to listen and to implement all of these characters. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.